is my horror night.
Oh, hi. Welcome to The Last Video Store. I'm your host, Bud Haddonfield, and there's fucking zombies out there. So welcome back to The Last Video Store. As I said before, I am your host, Bud Haddonfield, and today is our second episode of May of the Dead, where we discuss the 1972 classic written and directed by Bob Clark's Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. When you think about Bob Clark, you think about movies such as A Christmas Story, Porky's, and Black Christmas. One movie that you don't ever hear of, and it's one that's just very underrated, and it's going to be a little zombie movie that came out 4 years after George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, and it's Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. It was both written and directed by Bob Clark, starred Alan Ormsby, his then wife Anya Ormsby, Valerie Manches, and Jeff Gillian. I think I pronounced that last name correctly. And it was released June 9th, 1972. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things starts off with our main group of characters. It's a director by the name of Alan, played by Alan Ormsby, and his stage actors that he liked to boss around and treat like his minions. They show up on a boat to this island that is used as a graveyard. They have some dark history. Apparently the caretakers who used to live on the island years before, I think one killed his family, the other one hung himself. They explain it later on in the movie. But it's pretty much just graveyard, woods, and an old abandoned cabin that used to be the little caretaker lodge. So the opening is, I guess, the new up-to-date caretaker, and he sees a man at night in the graveyard. When he goes to approach him, turns around, and it looks like a walking corpse.
Paul, light that other lantern for me. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Hurry up with that lantern.
It's kind of a dark movie. I'm talking about not content, but the way it's shot, because it is on a dark island. There's not much power, but the scenes that you do see in color, it is very beautiful, ominous, very creepy and eerie. Bob Clark captured the atmosphere perfect.
Well, there it is. Ulalume, the sanctum of Satan.
It's a set. You had it built.
It's a masterpiece. The vibrations are powerful.
Why the hell would they build a graveyard out here?
Oh, yes. A logical question, to which there is a logical answer. The island, you see, has a history, which I shall relate. But first, the 10-cent tour.
Which we get for only a quarter.
So our whole reason why our cast of characters is over there is that the island has some dark history, like I explained earlier, and Alan thinks it's the perfect place to read from his Necronomicon type book, and he has the perfect spell to make the dead walk.
There is the paupers section. All the corpses here were buried recently. The county just levels off a section of ground, throws the stiffs in it, till the section is filled, levels off another.
You mean the people right under my feet were just put here?
They're hardly cold, and a more delightful gaggle of wretches you will never meet. Murderers, rapists.
There aren't any paupers buried in that section.
No, indeed there aren't. That is hallowed ground. Come, children. Uncle Alan's going to curdle your blood.
Uncle Alan already does. Turns my stomach, too. hope these things are going to stay in the ground.
Not if I can help it.
Yuck.
Feast your eyes on one of the last vestiges of grace, one of the last flights of pure imagination, of unadulterated creativity.
It's a boneyard.
A boneyard? A boneyard? What a travesty! A sacrilege! A masterful reduction of the sublime to the commonplace. Only a truly ordinary mind, Jeffrey, could conceive such an idea.
It is kind of pretty.
Give me a moment. The magnitude of your simplitude overwhelms me.
What the hell's he talking about?
Humor him. It's an old war injury. I'll talk to him. Alan, is it your hemorrhoids again?
Your levity does not amuse me, Jeffrey. You're on sacred ground, my friend, a very font of evil. For in this very crypt lay a man whose malice appalled the gods, whose unrelenting thirst for vengeance inflamed the mind of Satan himself. Even now, demonic forces hover here, feeding upon the psychic force of that one act. Be still. Listen.
Alan gives a little backstory about the island, something with the death of the two caretakers. It's supposedly haunted and some crappy things that happen on the island. That's why it's the perfect spot to summon the dead.
How long has this place been empty?
About 2 years. This door is pretty sturdy. Let's check the windows.
Who lived here?
Caretaker of the cemetery.
Where is he now?
In an insane asylum.
Oh, God, I'm afraid to ask.
Well, it's quite ordinary, really. Killed his wife and 2 children. They found him babbling.
Why didn't they get another caretaker?
They did.
Hey, look, there's a wood pile. At least we can build a fire.
That's the best news I've heard all night.
Oh, wait. We could kick these shutters in. Go ahead, Paul. Do your athlete thing. Crawl through and open the door.
Look, I shouldn't ask, but whatever happened to the other caretaker?
He hanged himself.
You shouldn't have asked.
In this very room, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, wait a minute. This is too much. You tell us the first caretaker murdered his family. The second caretaker hanged himself. I mean, it's like a grade B movie where the villain tries to drive his victims mad.
Oh, a villain. How flattering.
You have a large insurance policy on this company?
No, I'm bumping you all off as my contribution to good theater. This is a grimoire, a book of ancient spells, descending in a direct line from the Druids and the old religion. Spells, counterspells, conjurations, summations, and here is the spell I have chosen for our purposes. It details the simple steps and the simple words necessary to enable a master to call forth the dead from their graves, to bend their wills to his, and serve him always, in this world and the next. And this island meets the unique stipulations required for a summation. A consummate evil was committed here, a curse lies upon it, and there are fresh cadavers available and waiting for us. And it's nearly midnight, so I suggest we go and exhume our corpse.
So they dig up a grave, and he reads his little passage, and for some reason Jeff goes fuck around with the dead corpse. And the eyes open up and scares the shit out of him. He literally pisses his pants, and it turns out that was all a joke, that he had hired 2 of his actor friends to play the parts as the Walking Dead. And it's a fun little scene. These guys are obviously gay actor characters. And in 1972, not a lot of gay people were featured in film. So this was one of the first movies that featured a gay character, which is pretty cool. It's okay to be gay.
Let's see. Orville Dunworth, 1929, 1971. Oh. He ought to be right. Okay, this is the one.
So this is the lucky stiff, huh?
Whoa. Okay, troops, dig in. Where's Anya?
She's back by the crypt.
Excellent. Well, let's see if anybody's home. Open up.
Hope he doesn't mind us dropping in like this. Jesus Christ, is that for real?
God, I don't believe it.
Looks like Dracula.
Decomposition does strange things to people. Haul him up, Jeff. Let's take a closer look.
You want me to touch that thing?
He won't bite you.
Well, I wouldn't bet on it.
Just lift him up to the rim, Jeff. Paul and I will haul him out.
Roy?
Certainly, you crazy bitch.
You bastard.
Listen, Alan, this crazy man bloodied my nose.
Well, listen, it isn't funny. We were on the verge of a genuine tragedy here.
And you little devils, you gave the best performance of your entire careers.
I peed in my pants.
Will you quit giving us the play-by-play of your flabby bladder?
My God, you should have seen the creature we took out of that hole. I nearly fainted. He's really dead.
He was probably a dishwasher. That's a far cry from robber barons and rape and demons. There are a bunch of plumbers and panhandlers buried out here. Pretty punk stuff to tempt Satan with.
Not quite so. I'm certain there are quite a few murderers and other assorted types that will please the master. Emerson, what time is it?
It's 5 of 12.
The witching hour. We have to hurry. He won't wait. What did you do with, what's his name? Orville?
He's over behind that tomb.
Wait a minute. The joke's over. Terry's scared as hell. I'm taking her out of here.
Have a good swim. And don't forget to drop your script off at the theater when you get back.
It's okay, Paul. It scared me, that's all. I'm all right now.
But this has gone far enough, man.
Look, it's my job, too. I don't want to be fired.
You sure?
Oh, why don't you stop?
So Orville, the actual body that was lying in the coffin that got dug up by the two actors, they got put next to the tied up caretakers. They kidnapped the whole motherfucker, so that's never cool. And now that Alan has the biggest head in the world, he wants to fuck around with the dead body.
Good. Good. He's magnificent. Look at him, Anya.
I wonder what he's thinking.
Jeff, get the candles. Lift Orville up here. will prop him up against the crucifix. Bend his arms over the lateral.
My God, he's stiff as plaster.
Perfect. Anya, the envelope. And what's in the envelope? They all asked breathlessly.
What's in the envelope, Alan?
Blood. The dried blood of an unborn infant, as called for in the Book of Spells. Now, don't worry. No murder was committed. It's just that every summation demands a sovereign ingredient or sacrifice. This is ours. Help me out. Now we begin. Jeff, Paul, Emerson, and Roy, grab shovels. I want you to follow behind me. Break the earth over the graves. Thus. I will go after and anoint them as prescribed. Go.
And after we do all of this, the dead are going to rise from their graves, right?
Thus spaketh the master.
Well, the joke's over and it's all said and done, but he still wants to read out of this book because he thinks, in fact, that he can raise the dead. I don't know what he was thinking, but he really screwed up this time.
Jesus Christ.
What is it?
Look.
Hold this. Oh, God. It's beautiful.
It's hideous.
The root broke it open.
This is a sign. They will rise. This is the sign.
Bull. The root undermined the coffin, that's all.
It's a sign. Anya? Come.
What happened over there, Alan?
Never mind. Kneel around the grave. Clasp your hands together in the inverted prayer, like this. Open your minds. Remove all doubt, but be on your guard. Let nothing take hold of you. Let nothing enter your body. From this time on, you must be silent. O great diviner, master of the three worlds, disciple who became master,
Lord of the netherworld, Lord of night, Prince of darkness, despoiler of light, diviner of powers, redeemer of passion, crucible of flesh, by the blood incarnate, by the flesh made proud, by the soul devoured of itself, by these words we do implore, by these deeds we do supplicate and call upon the grace of thee, Lord Almighty of the underworld, to release the souls of all thy servants who lie here unredeemed, to release them to serve thy servant, bending their wills always to his, thus to thine own. By the blood of babes unborn, by the inversion of the Savior, by the bond of thine own hand, we do entreat thee, deliver them up to us, to command in thy name, to serve our will and thine own. By Lucifer, Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, Arcanes, and all the underlords we do entreat, let them rise up. Spiritus Aquitani Salvete, let them rise up. Satan, God of all.
So now that's nothing happening, he decides to take the body of Orville to bring back to the caretaker lodge and to have a wedding ceremony. And they all laugh and make jokes and everything is good till the dead rises for real.
It's customary to carry the corpse over the threshold.
Right.
Looks like the honeymoon is over.
Wrong. We're not even married yet.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join together this man and this body in holy, well, not so holy, but it's okay, wedlock, more or less. Please repeat after me. I, Alan, take this body.
I, Alan, take this body.
Yeah, welcome to it. You deserve everything you're getting. To love, honor, and cherish, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, till death do you part. And you better hurry, believe you me. And Orville, you go along with all of this? Well, then, by the power invested in me, by Ready Kilowatt, I now pronounce you man and whatever he is.
These are very cool shots of the dead rising. The zombies look really cool in this movie. They attack the tied-up caretaker, so not only did they kidnap somebody, but they pretty much sealed his fate. And the zombies attack the two actors that posed as zombies earlier. Sonya's kind of a spiritual character. She can feel something's off. There's something supernatural in the air. And some of the characters decide to leave, even though Alan's like, if you leave and you take my boat, there will not be a part for you in my theater whatsoever. But they're like, fuck it, something's going on and we need to get out of here. And that's when they discover that the dead is indeed walking and is coming for them.
Is he coming? I didn't ask him.
My God, what's that?
Jesus Christ!
Wait a minute. God.
They're coming! They're coming!
We didn't hurt him! We didn't hurt him!
Paul, I think his name is, he's the guy in the green shirt. He's like a Marlon Brando type character because he's an athlete and he has the background of it. He's quick and strong and whatnot. The rest of the guys think that they're going to start a diversion to get all the zombies at the front door while he slips out the back, but it really does not work out for him. So after he's found getting ed on like a roast beef sandwich, his girlfriend's all upset and she turns her back to the open door, which gives two zombies access to her and pull her out and devour her as well. Alan thinks because he used the book to make the dead walk that he can use it to put them back in their place. So he finds a certain passage, reads it, and as they look out the window, they think the dead's retreating back to their eternal resting places. But the joke's on y'all.
Read the words as they are written and in the prescribed manner for these things.
Read it.
Prince of darkness, brethren of hell, masters of the fiery pit, hear the prayers of thy servants, we who have transgressed against thy might.
Something's happening. Don't stop.
And grant us pardon, grant us leave. Release us from thy vengeance. Accept our vow that we shall never more transgress against thy awful might. And ye of the grave whose rest we have defiled, ye sleepers in the eternal night, obey the will of Lucifer, of Demogorgon, of all the lords of hell, if they should hear our plea and grant us pardon, grant us leave. Seek not our deaths, seek not our souls. Obey the will of Lucifer, obey the will of hell. Return and sleep and walk no more.
It's working. It's working.
Return and sleep. Return and sleep. Return and sleep. They're gone.
So they figured they could hightail it back to their boat because there's no dead in sight. And once they get past one of the little tree lines, they're all there and they attack. And they get Valerie, I think that's the name of the actress, and they get Jeff, and Anya and Alan retreat back into the house. There's no time to board up the house because there's just too many of them. So Anya and Alan retreat upstairs where the body of Orville is waiting. So Anya gets taken off by a bunch of zombies. She looks at Alan and Alan's like, hey, sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. So he locks the door behind him. And like I said before, Orville is gonna get him, and he does. And this is the end of our movie. It's a pretty cool scene. The zombie goes to the boat and they take a boat ride back to the land and they slowly take over the world. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things was a very underrated zombie movie and one of the best of its kind. Bob Clark was a great influential director. Like I said, he had pretty much jump-started the slasher subgenre, and I think he was really able to carry on the zombie subgenre and did a good follow-up after George A. Romero, because if it wouldn't be from Night of the Living Dead, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things would have never gotten made. So I think that indeed would made his career. It was a very fun movie, very cool. The zombies were really cool. They were a lot quicker than what we had in Night of the Living Dead. They looked a little bit creepier, and I think it was because it was shot in color versus black and whites. But this movie is very readily available to watch. You can find it on YouTube, Amazon Prime. The DVD and Blu-ray is very affordable, and they're pretty cheap, so you can find it anywhere. Out of 5 stars, I'm definitely going to give this movie a 5 stars. Thank you for tuning in to our second episode of May of the Dead. What we're going to do is we're going to stay out here until these zombies get put back in their place. So hopefully somebody's fucking around with the book and finds the right page this time. So I'm Bud Haddonfield. This is the Last Video Store. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully I survived to make it to episode 3 of May of the Dead, and we shall see. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And if there's a certain movie that you want me to cover, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to. So you all have a great night, and I'll see you in hell.
Thank you.